I was thinking about flipping and I wasn't feeling excited about doing that. And I knew that I wanted to do an Airbnb, but I was thinking I've got to take the emotion out of it because that's what I love doing. So I need to be flipping. And I think it's about going with your gut instinct as well, because once I made the decision, no, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to do an Airbnb. That's what I want to do. I'm so excited about it now.
You're listening to the She Renovates podcast. You're listening to She Renovates, the podcast for women who want to renovate to create an income and a life they love.
Hello everyone. It's that time of the week again. It's Thursday, and today I have the lovely Katrina Lumsden. So just to remind you, what we're actually doing is recording the podcast live. We're doing it through StreamYard. So if you are watching and you want to comment or ask a question, please give StreamYard permission to show your name, so that otherwise it just puts up some generic thing like user or Facebook user or something like that, which is not very personal. So if you could do that, that would be great. So firstly, I want to introduce Katrina. And so Katrina and I have a lot in common because I see that she's had transforming homes in mind since she was about 13. Mm-hmm. And basically she's obsessed with real estate and has done a few short courses about property investing over the years. She would love to flip houses with her hubby full-time and create a property portfolio of lots of little havens. And so Katrina has a business around short-term rental, and I'll let Katrina tell you about that. But what I want to tell you is her big goal, and that's to buy, renovate and design a hotel in a cool holiday property. Think Palm Springs meets coastal luxe. Love that, Katrina. And so
Yes.
Katrina has joined our Wonder Women program, and so we'll talk a little bit about that in a little while. But firstly, can you just give me a little bit of background? Like, I've given you some background about your love of beautiful spaces, but about you as a person.
Hi everyone, thanks Bernadette, and thanks for having me. Yeah, I would say I'm pretty down to earth and very sort of genuine person. I love to, I'm always that person people go to for a shoulder to cry on. I love to, be there for my friends and my family. And I'm a mum of 3 boys who are now 22, 19 and 15, nearly 16. So they're all, at a point in their lives where they're very independent. They don't need me much anymore. And yeah, so I sort of feel like the last few years I've really grown a lot and learnt who I am as Katrina, not just as a mum and a wife. And I'm just doing things for myself a little bit more now and looking after myself. And one of those things was to follow my passion of property and stop bloody talking about it and actually buy something and do something about it. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah, and it's really great. And also you have a business. Do you want to just talk quickly refer to that, what you do in it? And so we're really up to speed with who you are.
Yes, thank you. I have a business called Studio Haven, and I'm on Instagram at studiohaven_au. And I work with holiday homeowners to elevate and transform their homes into must-stay destinations. So I have such a passion for interiors, and I've been working in the industry now for about 8 years. And I started in property styling, and I've done hundreds of houses and transformed lots of houses. And my passion is really in holidays and holiday properties. So it was just a natural progression that I would actually work with people in that area. So I'm now truly doing something that just lights me up, and I just love working with people to create that elevated holiday home that can earn them a really great income.
Yeah, and I have to say we all love your style, and
Thank
that's
you.
been, certainly the property that we're about to talk about is something that's made it really clear your talent.
Thank you.
And so that's the first thing we'll talk about in terms of what you set out to do with the property that you have just created.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I didn't specifically ask this before, and you've sort of answered it, but I just really want to highlight the fact that the styling for holiday accommodation really is your superpower. Would you agree?
Yes, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and something that I think in terms of renovating, that it's really important to sort of stick with your superpower at least when you're getting started, because it will get you results much quicker than if you jump out and into, another area and start. Yeah. So if you can blend the two, that it really feeds into your passion, and two, it helps you get good results, which I think is really important, particularly when you're getting started, because it's all about building confidence. And once you've sort of developed that confidence, then really the sky is your oyster.
Yeah.
So you've created this property now, so what was the thing? Do you want to tell us a little bit about what the thinking was behind it when you set out to do this project?
Sure. So just so that everybody sort of knows what Bernadette's talking about, I've actually built and I call it a studio, an alfresco space in our backyard. We're on a 950 square metre block, so it's quite large. And we have a pool up the backyard, which then had quite a large chunk of land behind the pool. And that was always just a jungle. It was just lots and lots of rubbish. And, we were constantly having to clean it up. And we weren't really using the space the way that it could be used. We'd come up and have a swim, and then we'd just, disappear back into the house. So we initially were going to build a granny flat or an Airbnb up the back. And when we started looking at all the plans and the reality of actually having some strangers in our backyard, and the way that it was going to be built was right on the pool, we had to access, right up to the very edge of the pool. So we just started thinking, how else can we create an income, but also create a space that we can use as a family? So because of my passion for holiday homes, and with everything we've been through with COVID and everything else, I have a real passion to create a holiday at home feel that, wherever you are in your home, whether you're living in the suburbs or whether you are on the water, you can feel like you're on holidays every day when you walk in your home. And that's something that I've been doing with my clients for years now. So I decided to because my husband was, had a lot to do with it, build a space that had that kind of resort style feel, that when we came up here, we felt like we were going on a little holiday. And we had a lot of factors that we needed to consider. So we've got large families, so we needed enough space for everybody to fit when we entertained. I wanted it to be a space that my boys could use, that I wasn't really precious about it as well. But then the final thing was I still wanted to be able to earn an income from it. So before we did all the plans, I had to think how the space was going to be used before we actually started to think about the design. And then we created the space around that.
Beautiful. And do you want to just quickly take us for a little tiny tour so that we can just check it out? Because I know everyone will love it.
Let me unplug. So this is the little studio living space here. And this overlooks the pool, but the pool's being renovated at the moment and it's looking pretty average. So I might just not show that today. But no. This is the bathroom. I can't see. Oh, here we go. This is the little bathroom that we've done. And I wanted it to have a really kind of luxe feel, and I wanted it to be neutral so that when people rented it out, it's actually got white floors and the white walls, so they can actually remove those furniture pieces if they need to and have a really blank canvas. that's my little office space at the moment, but that's going to be a kitchenette with like a bar so we can make cocktails. Very
Gorgeous.
important. And then we've also got this side over here as well, which is just another space to capture shots, and it allows me to have a little bit of storage in there as well.
Beautiful.
And then this out here, so I'll just show, we've got a gas strut window. Can you see that?
Yep. Yeah.
That opens out there. And one of the girls in the Wonder Women group, Trudy Selleck, she has inspired me to put in a little ice tray right there.
Yeah, that was just, a pretty cool idea, wasn't that?
Yeah, it was a great idea. So, so this is the outdoor space. We've got the barbecue, and we've got an area up here where this is all our favourite part of the space, this little day bed.
Yeah,
I always find the boys up here listening to music and having some time out of the house. So that's a really great thing too. It gives us all a place to go just for a bit of our own time. And then that's the fireplace that we built. We used recycled brick to build that, and we've got a bioethanol fire in there. So then we've got just a nice, can you see that properly? I'm trying to get the angle. We've got a nice, actually I'll come here. We've got a nice sort of seating area that we can relax and sort of have drinks around, but then we've also got the dining table and space as well. So I had to think about creating lots of little nooks. You can see the swing there.
Yeah.
And then the pool. I will quickly show the pool, but it's pretty bad. But because we're just fixing some waterproofing so that we can actually get it ready for summer to actually swim in. But that's the end of the pool there, and we're just doing a little bit of work around that. So we've got lots of different spaces that people can photograph, but also that we can personally use as well for our family. So, yeah.
So I don't think you actually mentioned what the use was you've come up with in order to derive an income. So what's the plan?
So we're going to be we have got it on Aloka AU, which is a photo shoot location. And you can, when you go on there, you can actually choose if you want to use it for movies or, the film, as well as photo shoot or workshops. So you can pick and choose what you want to rent it as. And we've got it on there for photo shoot location. So that's for people who want headshots, or they're doing new branding for maybe products, candles, homewares, cushions, that sort of thing. And commercials and things like that. So we have put that onto this site, and we've blocked out a little bit just to finish off around the pool, and that'll be, ready to go. It's actually live, and you can book in after, I think it's mid-July now. So.
Wow. And so you can do workshops there as well. Oh, Louise Shervington's on. She's saying she's stalking your Instagram.
Thank you, Louise.
So, you asked what sort of clients you have. It's only just gone up, hasn't it?
It's just gone up, but I've done my research, and it's people who are looking to, they might have a candle range and they just need that backdrop to do all the professional photography. Also people who have got businesses and they want to get team headshots and things, but they just need a space to do it. And I think I've just recently reduced, there's a minimum hour that you can rent it, and I've just reduced it to 2 hours, because I personally think that is what most people would only need it for. So I want to make it available to people. I've had girls contact me that are looking to book about creating content here for their reels and their Instagram. And I've also had another girl with a pajama range that's looking to come and shoot her range here. So, it's quite broad that what you can use it for. And the workshops as well, I'm actually thinking I might look into that. Like, if you wanted to host a clay workshop but you didn't have anywhere to do it, you could rent the space for that.
I have been looking at venues for our boardroom, which we do with the diamonds once a year. Mm-hmm. And how many people can you sit around a table?
Well, at the moment it seats you can seat 8 to 10, but we've got another table we can extend. So we could just that whole outdoor area could be one long table if you needed it to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
It might not quite be big enough, but I'll talk to you about that later, because that would be beautiful. Yeah.
Oh,
so
yes.
awesome. Okay, so I better get that. So brilliant idea. Love the concept. And yeah, so I do agree. I think it's going to do really well because, particularly with Instagram, I know I'm really bad at this, but the aesthetics is really important.
Yeah.
And so that's that. So roughly how much do you have a budget for what you spent on the project?
It's kind of broad because Pete, my husband's a builder, and so he did a lot of it himself, which that's why it took so long to do. It really did take us nearly 2 years from beginning to end. So it was around about the 160K, and that is utilizing your, like, the trade discounts that, we get through being renovators. Yeah. So, and being like, we got recycled bricks where we could, or there's lots of places you can pick up free bricks when you're doing, just people are getting rid of them and you're just doing your, like, the rendered bench seats. We just used, free or recycled bricks. So just thinking outside the square and trying to save where you can. With the concrete floor, I wanted to have, a beautiful polished concrete floor, but we couldn't afford that. So we just got a steel cut finish, and I'm going to put an epoxy topping on it to protect it. So, yeah.
Yeah. And so was the furnishing of it or the fit out in that, or was that over and above?
No, that was over and above. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd been buying things for quite some time in anticipation of it. So, yeah.
And so realistically, once it gets up and running, what do you see as being your anticipated income?
Oh, look, I when I first had it on, I had a minimum. At the moment it's on for $200 an hour. So, if I was to get 2 bookings a week, that's $800 a week. So, that's pretty good income for, basically I just have to come up now and tidy it up, make sure it's all ready for them. And it's ready to go.
That's very realistic. So you're talking about 2 half-day bookings.
Pardon? Yes, yeah. And obviously there's room for more. And the beauty of it is that when we were looking at it as an Airbnb to rent out, instead of having somebody up here all the time and earning that regular income, which probably would have worked out, I think it's about $600 a week at the moment in my area. So you're still looking at roughly that same. I know it's regular, but it's sort of roughly the same amount. But by doing it this way, then we've still got access to it. We still have a space for our family to use. And when we've got things on, I can block the weeks out. If I don't want to have people in, I can just block it out. And then, as much as I want to advertise it and spend on marketing, I think the world, I could earn dollars.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you. I think probably even on Airbnb, you'd do much better than $600 a week, because
maybe now. I looked at that a little while ago.
Yeah, and it's an unusual space. And they do a lot better. But yeah, that's amazing. And so did you find any challenges with the actual project?
Working with my husband was probably the biggest one. Me changing my mind, and not really. I think our biggest challenge was time, because we were doing a lot of it ourselves, and I would say that would be the main challenge, because Pete works 6 days a week, so there wasn't a lot of time around that for him to physically do the work. But I didn't really find, because we've renovated a few homes, I think that we kind of had that bit down pat. Yeah.
And so let's talk about what's next for you. So your goal, your big kahuna, is to renovate a
hotel.
Yeah. So I love that idea. So what are you doing about that?
Well, right now, my goal is to, I was getting ahead of myself, I think, and I was looking at I want to create a collective of holiday homes up and down the coast that all come under the umbrella of my Studio Haven. And I would love to have that. So I'm starting with a new one soon. I'm getting all of my ducks in a row, and I'm on the lookout for a holiday home, and I'm going to be setting that up, and that's going to be part of my business.
Yeah.
And the big goal, I think, when we were at the Wonder Women retreat, and that's something that I found so inspiring, is we all got up and were to say what was our big plan for the next 5 years. And I think I said that I wanted to have, I think it was maybe 3 holiday homes in the next 5 years. And somebody got up after me and said, I don't know, I think it was 6 or 7. And I remember thinking, wow, like, I need to dream bigger, because it's achievable. It's definitely achievable. And I keep myself, and I think you've got to learn to dream bigger. So yeah, and that hotel, like, I'm always on the lookout for that little project or big project. That would be amazing.
Yeah, and I love, because when you and I first talked, you were talking about doing a flip. And
yes.
I really love the fact that you've got back into your lane, because it's because the opportunities for you with the skill that you've got are so great. And even if you do end up flipping, then you've got all those numbers that sort of add to the attractiveness of the property. It means you can buy properties in areas where the price is not so high, more regional or, areas, and then use that skill that you've got to add another, string to the property's bow, so that it's even more attractive as an investment property.
Buyer, yes.
Yeah. So, and the other thing, Louise is saying, this is becoming like an accountability call. Well, well, we're not going to use the other thing is, I got an email from a lady the other day, and she said, basically, she said, I'm on Centrelink and I've only got a couple of 100,000 in the world. That's all I've got. And I don't see myself ever being able to buy property. And I live in Tasmania, and I'd be happy to move to Melbourne or Sydney. And I thought, I can't believe you can't buy something in Tasmania. And I had a look in the Tasmanian market. I would have found about 15 properties that were between 75 and 180,000. And one of them was this really cute little, I know we're all into churches at the moment, but it was a cute little church out the middle of nowhere. And I thought, that would be awesome for someone that was on the Airbnb track. Cheap, and you could, So I think it's a great strategy, and I think that you will do really well. I think one of the things that's important to do is try and get the properties, or as many properties as you can. Try and land bank, because that means they've already started to grow while you're holding them until you get around to doing something with them.
Yes,
But I know we went and visited Louise Shervington yesterday, who's on the call today. And she was renovating a property that she has owned in Newcastle for 20 years. And she paid, I know she won't mind me sharing, but she paid 160,000 for it. And so all she's done is just let that look after itself, more or less. And now she is renovating it, and she's going to take the income. She's spending quite a lot, 150,000 on it, but she's taking the income up from $500 to $1,000 a week. And so by buying it early, it's had all that growth. So if you can manage to land bank, and often that's around broadening your mindset around money.
Yes, definitely.
And thinking about that, So
I remember Louise saying as well that that she was able to use that property as it grew to fund other investments she was making as well. From the equity.
Yeah, so I think once you start, you get your first one, and then you can it sort of gives you legs, like you start to think,
Your
oh well,
confidence.
is that okay? I can maybe do the next one. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm really excited for you, because it's
Thank you.
always so I think motivating and inspiring when you can produce such a beautiful looking product. It's just
Yes.
that little bit nicer. So yeah, so I love what you're doing. And
Thank you. And I think what you were saying before about when I was thinking about flipping, and I wasn't feeling excited about doing that. And I knew that I wanted to do an Airbnb, but I was thinking I've got to take the emotion out of it because that's what I love doing. So I need to be flipping. And I think it's about going with your gut instinct as well, because once I made the decision, no, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to do an Airbnb. That's what I want to do. I'm so excited about it now. So yeah.
yeah, I'm so pleased that you've decided to go that way. It
Mm.
will serve you well. And the other thing I was going to say to you is I think one of the things as women, often we keep ourselves small because it's scary to, like step out and, oh, that's lovely. Wish I knew you said it, but thank you. It's scary to sort of step out, out of your comfort zone. And it's something I've been thinking about a lot because I feel that some of the women in our group should be making more profit than they are. They should be, they're sort of, yeah, they've got the process and just not, I don't think making quite enough, just some. And so I'm looking at addressing that in our annual conference, and we've called it the Millionaire Renovator, and it's going to be all about building up your mindset and strategies for scaling up. So I feel quite excited about that because I think it will have a big impact on projects and on outcomes.
Definitely. That's awesome. Because I know for me personally, like I'm an interior designer. I have been and managed projects. I know all the plans. I've got a builder for a husband.
You've got it
What,
made.
what is stopping me? But it has. I have been stuck on this for years. So it's like, you've just got to push yourself out of your comfort zone. And it's something that I've been doing in the last few years. And every single time I push myself out of my comfort zone, and it's scary and you feel scared about it, it's been the best thing I've ever done. So that's my advice to anyone. Just push yourself out of your comfort zone, push through it, because what's on the other side is where it all is, where all the magic happens. Yeah.
Beautiful. And so if someone wanted to get in touch with you about what you do, your business, if they had a property that they would like your input on, how does that happen? What do you want them to do?
Well, they can either send me a DM at studiohaven_au, or you can head over to my website, which is studiohaven.com.au. And there's all the information about what I do, and lots of images, and also I have a podcast as well. So I launched that probably about, actually nearly 2 months ago now, and it's called Holiday in Style. And I actually I interview women who are running and hosting their own holiday homes, who have created beautiful interiors, because I'm a big believer that you need to invest in the interiors of your holiday home to magnetize and draw your guests into your stay, because if you can't get them in there, how can they experience how amazing your property is? So I do that once a fortnight. Plus, I'm going to be interviewing professionals in the setting up of holiday homes, and Bernadette's going to come on as a guest and chat about all the renovating side of it. And then on the other alternate week, then I share interiors tips and tricks and tips to help people either at home or in their holiday home. So yes.
Beautiful. So yes, we'll definitely put a link to the podcast as well in the show notes. So I want to thank you for coming on today. It was really nice to have some beautiful visuals. It always makes the episodes a lot better. And I know that I will get Mikey to slot some images of the area, because it's always nice to see the photos
through.
Yeah. And just to say, we love having you in our community, and we think you're going to do great things. So thank you, Katrina.
Thanks, Bernadette. And I love being in there, and I've made some great friends and some great connections in the group. It's just a absolutely beautiful group of women just killing it. Like they inspire me every day when they seeing some of the things these women are doing. It's very inspiring. Yeah.
You know, it makes me laugh sometimes, because we, you know, like we'll have someone that's that is very quite shy, and like we had this happen quite a bit at the retreat, and you'll say, so what projects are you on? And then they start reeling off all these projects, and it's pretty exciting. Yeah. So women doing big things, which is good.
Absolutely.
Well,
you've created an amazing community.
Yes, I'm very grateful, Katrina. So thank you. If you want to meet up with a group of savvy renovating, I shouldn't say it's all women, because it's not, savvy renovators, I'll say, come over and join She Renovates. It's completely free Facebook group, and it is growing at the rate of knots. We hit 1,000 members just recently, and now it seems to have picked up momentum. And so they are all savvy renovating women and men that are working their little hearts out to live a better life through renovating. Join if you're not already a member, and then ask, comment, and do whatever you would like to do in order to further your renovation journey. And that's it for me today. So I'll see you next week.
This is the She Renovates podcast. To discover how to harness the power of renovating, check out theschoolofrenovating.com.